With the recent release of both the Apple iPhone 8 and the Google Pixel 2, and with the iPhone X just over the horizon, it takes a lot of chutzpah to launch a new smartphone at this time of the year. But Huawei has done just that with a new flagship smartphone, the Mate 10 Pro, although the company would rather you didn't call it a smartphone. Instead it, commendably optimistically, wants you to think of it as an intelligent machine. Huawei has pushed this phone's AI capability to make it stand out, but, at first glance, can it really wow new users? Build. The Mate 10 Pro certainly looks more impressive than last year's Mate 9. The 6-inch screen is packed into a 150 by 75 by 8 mm bezel-less body, making it a little larger than an iPhone 8, but with a notably bigger screen. It also has a much higher pixel count, 2560 by 1440, at an 18:9 ratio, and a claimed contrast of 70,000:1. On the back, you'll find a dual camera setup and a lightly colored band across them. Huawei calls that the company's signature. It's meant to be reminiscent of the beam you see when looking directly at a light. Some might prefer the neatness of having the back one uniform color. Others may prefer this touch of personality. Below that is the fingerprint scanner. Huawei has opted for this over Face ID, claiming it's a faster way of unlocking your smartphone. At the bottom of the phone is a USB-C jack for charging, and to connect the bundled headphones. It's also waterproof to IP67 rating, which means guaranteed protection for up to 30 minutes submerged. As we only have a limited time with the Mate 10 Pro, we opt not to plunge it into any pools. Screen. There are a couple of screen settings to go through before the Mate 10 Pro is up and running the way we like it. We alter the color temperature setting to ensure it isn't interfering with the picture, and change the color mode to normal from its vivid default, which we feel is a little overblown. Streaming the first episode of Star Trek Discovery on Netflix, the Mate 10 Pro starts well. We only had an iPhone 6s with us for direct comparison, but the moment the streaming service's red and white logo pops into view, it's clear the Mate 10 Pro has a better handling of whites. The glint of the light against some of the more orange decals on the metal makes for a relatively nuanced look. But while Huawei says the Mate Pro 10 supports HDR, as yet it's unclear whether it has support from Netflix and other streaming services. At the time of writing, the only Android phones with HDR support, according to Netflix's website, are the LG V30, Samsung Galaxy Note 8, Sony Xperia XZ Premium and Sony Xperia XZ1. Nevertheless, first impressions are still solid. There's a good deal of detail on Klingon armor, and when the camera moves in for a close-up you really get a sense of the texture to their skin. Sound. On the audio side, bundled with the Mate 10 Pro are a pair of USB-C connected headphones, as well as an adapter for those who prefer to use their own. Our initial impression is that they are acceptable, not particularly detailed or refined, but fine by freebie standards. Playing Yellow's Mr. Blue Sky via Tidal, the phone's speaker has a weightier, bassier sound than we anticipate, with the opening drums of the song having solid punch and detail. But it's still quite tinny by most standards. The sound is forced out of a single mono speaker at the bottom of the phone, and its ability to organize falls short when up against dense tracks like Neutral Milk Hotel's Holland, 1945. As a general rule, we'd recommend a good pair of headphones rather than using the inbuilt speakers, and the Mate 10 Pro is no exception. If your budget allows it, consider Beyerdynamic Byrons, £50, for quality on-the-go sound. On the bright side, the digital-to-analog converter will support files up to a 32-bit/384 kHz resolution, so it is possible to pack the phone full of high-res files, although naturally we prefer a dedicated portable music player instead. Still, we look forward to seeing how the Mate 10 Pro properly handles music.